Junior British Carp Angling Championships in association with Korda Adrenaline.
Right, started day 3 and it's gone off to a storming start. I'm here with little Tom McGowan, who's bagged a 17-pounder, mate. How did you catch it?
Just on a maggot liner.
Oh right, on the maggot. Well, that's the first person I've seen using the maggots here so far. Well, we'll have a little look at that in a minute. Yeah. Now that fish would have got you through yesterday quite easily. I mean, 10 pound was looking like the marker, and then someone pipped it with 11 pound right at the end of the day. But this is looking pretty impressive, mate. Do you fancy a chance of going through with this?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Has the nerves started yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's very nice to get one out of the way very quickly. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll slip this one back and have a little look at Tom's rig.
Alright, cheers, mate.
Right, with Tom now, looking at the rig. Obviously, it's the first person we've seen in the tournament using the maggots, mate. What made you decide to use maggots?
Just trying to get as many small fish as I can bag. See.
It tends to be a good big fish tactic as well. I mean, have you practiced here before, or did you know much about the water?
Only a couple of times. So just reading up on Crafty Carper, seen them using maggots. So I might as well use it.
Right. Okay. And have you used maggots much before?
No, not really.
Right. Okay. So just talk me through the system a little bit. I mean, how you've set it up, so some of the other people can see it.
It's an inline lead with a helicopter swivel.
Right, so having a look there, that's a square pair, inline. You've got the tail rubber coming over the insert, over the inline insert. Just a normal size 8 ring swivel. Yep. And then looking at
quick link.
Yep, or a stick clip, I think that is, isn't it? Yep. You've got a small loop there. Just to let me see if I can get that off. There we go. Right, yeah, that is a quick link. What have you got there? Figure of 8 or an overhand loop?
It's figure of 8.
Okay, and what sort of line is that?
That's subsurface 12 pound.
Right. Okay, so very sort of light mono, and then down to the famous. So
it's 10 quarter long shank.
Right, and then just a Magaliner grub there.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the magic. That's where it happens. And obviously with the piece coming out the front, that helps the hook to flip and catch in the bottom lip. Well, it certainly works so far, mate. I'll let you get this rod out because I know you'll be in a rush to do it. And hopefully there'll be a few more on the way for you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Right, we're around with John Earl, who's one of the top seats for this year's tournament. He's already stormed into an early lead, and I believe this is his 3rd hooked fish. Yeah. Confirmed, affirmative. He's known for catching quite big fish, really, and the last couple of years he's always caught 20 pounds. He's already started this morning with a 20 and an upper double, which has stormed him into an early lead. And you can safely say if he bags this, he's well and truly through to the final. Nice to have the pressure off early. John, let's get it up. Let's have a look at it. Looks like another really big bit. Well, he reckons another 20. A very confident young man, this fellow. I think he's going to be around for a few more years. 19.6. 19.6. That's going to see you through, sir. What's come over here, John? What's been the sort of going method so far?
Well, basically I've just been catching them on just single grains plastic corn out of range over a couple of spods each time.
Right, and what on earth made you decide to do that?
It's always caught me well on the complex before, so I thought I'd use it again on air, and it seems to be paying off so far.
Right, very good. So we'll have a look at that rig, mate. Let you get your rod sorted, and then we'll get on to some rigs. Superb.
Okay.
John, talk me through it, mate.
Well, basically I'm just using a Korda Longshank X with a single grain of corn and a little bit of shrink tubing, just so it mainly turns in quite aggressively.
Right, let's have a look at that if you want to show the camera. Right, so repeat that again for me. There. Okay. Right, and the shrink tube obviously helps it kick over. Yeah. So right, I know you fish the linear complex quite a bit. Why this rig?
The reason I use this rig really is everybody goes quite complicated with their rigs on air. They're all using the 360 rig, the chod rig and stuff like that. I just tend to go for a simple rig just such as this. Nails plenty of carp on the complex a lot of the time.
Right, and is that a buoyant piece of corn, is it, or a bottom?
Yeah, it's a buoyant bit of corn. It pretty much just sits just like that on the end of the hook.
Right, okay, so literally just sits up like that.
Yeah.
And are you presenting that with a PVA bag?
Yeah, just with a little PVA bag around it, so it's sitting pretty much on top of some pellet.
Okay, right. You've entered this competition for a number of years now. What do you think your chances are this year?
I'm feeling quite confident this year. I came very close last year. I would have done it if the weather hadn't changed. So this year I'm hoping that I can get in a good swim where I want to be, and hopefully the weather will stay put and I'll be able to get the fish going nuts on the bait.
Right, and where did you finish last year?
Last year in the end I finished 6th in the final.
Okay, now obviously you've got a big weight on today. Do you think you're through?
I'm confident that I'm through,
Right, okay.
but it could all change if somebody else on the other side just starts bagging up quite easily.
But yeah, with 10 places, you're hoping that obviously
One
you've
of
got
those 10 have got to go through.
You've stormed into a lead this morning.
Yeah.
A lot of people are impressed with your fishing. A lot of people are tipping you for big things in carp fishing in general.
Yeah.
I'm going to tip you for a favourite or a top spot in the general tournament.
Yeah, cheers
so
for that.
wish you the very best, and I'll no doubt be speaking to you later on in the show.
Yeah, okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, we're in peg 37 and just in time to see Ryan Boyder hook a fish. Is it your first fish, Ryan?
Yeah, well,
Right.
second take. Dropped
Right.
one early on in the match.
Right, okay, second take. So the nerves on, mate. Here,
Yeah.
dropping one. Let's hope you get this one in. We'll watch it through because with the way it's been fishing the last few days, as I've already explained, that one good fish is very likely to see you through to the final. That's pulling nicely, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a dumpy one. What's been the approach with this, Ryan?
Just, well, spodding. Just keep on topping up every half hour or so. 4 or 5 spods. Sloppy meat.
Was that on a bottom bait? Was it?
Yeah, that's on a little bottom bait of a PJ bag.
Right, okay. So bottom baits seem to be the one today, where the last few days zigs have dominated the matches, and that looks like a nice double, mate.
Yeah.
Well, certainly on day one that would have seen you through 100%. Not so certain on day two, but let's hope this is it. Oh, always a nerve-wracking moment. Fish very close to the net, and then it goes on one final hurrah. Fingers crossed for Ryan here. Come on, mate. It's looking nearly there. It's in the net. That's a great result for Ryan. Bit of pressure off there, and getting very, very close to the finishing line for him. Andy, you've been known for catching a few big carp, mate. I mean, how does that compare to the ones you've been used to catching on the Orient?
That's a little bit smaller,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they all count.
Right, you're
And
obviously
this could be a crucial fish.
Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to put your head on the chopping block here, because normally you can predict like a 50 or a 60. How big do you think that one was?
You put me on the spot there. I'm going to go £4.
£4, right? Okay, let's see if he's right. Go on then, Andy. Well, you're obviously not as good as you think, Andy. I'll give you £3 7 ounces on the money there. Right, Danny Woodhouse is the lucky captor of that huge Leviathan. Mate, the last few days, a good fish, a double would have seen you through to the final. Is that disappointing?
Lost one about 10 minutes ago.
Right, okay.
So
2 bites in quick succession. All right, mate, well, I'll let you get your rods back out, and hopefully there'll be a bigger one on the way. Right,
cheers.
fella. Oh, proud man. Can you get it right out shanty style? That's it, right above your head. Yeah. Okay, I'm here with Andy Chambers and Oz, who have been working here for a number of years now, so they've seen a lot of the boys coming through. Andy, you first. A lot of talent on survey here. Who do you fancy?
Over the last few days, I've seen Robert Sutton. He looked good in his qualifier, done well last year. Come here again, won his qualifier. Definitely fancy him. As a possible as well, I've seen Lewis Swift over the last 2 or 3 years, moving up in the ranks, and as an outsider, he's definitely worth a bet as well for the final.
Right, okay. Has Lewis fished so far?
He's fished and he qualified yesterday.
Right, okay, gotcha. On to you, Oz. Money, who's it on?
My money is going to be between
From a
Rob-
Yorkshireman as well, that's quite, it's a big thing to
it's going to be between Rob and Tom Maker, I think.
Right, Rob Sutton, Tom Maker.
Yeah.
That's where the safe money's going. If outside chances, if you had to pick a third, someone that's probably not as well known as them two, you've got obviously Tom Maker, Rob Sutton, who was last year's winner. Go on, give me an outsider.
John Earl.
John Earl.
Yeah.
What's so special about this lad?
over the last 3 years, John's always seemed to nick the bigger fish, and he gets straight on them as well. And I think if he can build up a quite commanding lead at the beginning in the final, is on the way the water is at the moment, it's going to be a real strong contender.
Yeah, and he's stormed into a lead today, hasn't he, on day 3? What do you think's played a part in the conditions? You know, what's made it so good today? Why is it fishing better?
It's far more overcast today than it has been on the other 2 eliminators, and I think the fish have just held a little bit on the back of this wind rather than move right the way across. But like I say, it is a lot more overcast today, so I think that has had a big factor.
Okay, and Andy, talking about conditions, what would be the ideal scenario for you over the days of the final?
It'd be nice to have a bit of a mixture to give everybody a chance. So you've got some cloudy, windy weather, but also nice to give some of the zig boys and the floater boys a chance. So if we had a bit of sun and some warmer weather, just to mix it up and give everybody, a bit of a chance with their various methods.
Okay.
So it'd be nice to see everybody getting a good chance at it.
Right, with Joe Atkinson here on the Windward Bank, and the conditions are looking completely awesome over here. Really, really nice. Lovely one on the bank here, mate. Do you want to lift it up and show us it?
Yep.
Gorgeous fish. That's really dark, and it's developing into a really nice looking carp. How big was that one?
15, 14.
15, 14. And how many fish have you had this morning?
3 and lost 1.
3 and lost 1, so it's got Joe well into the running now for the final. I mean, it is moving really, really quickly. The fishing has been ferocious this morning, and a lot of people have got off to a steaming start, and it's turning into a ding-dong battle on day 3. So, I'll let you get that one back, mate, and if we get a chance, we might talk some tactics with you in a bit.
Alright, that's great. Cheers, mate.
Well, fate works in mysterious ways, and he who laughs loudest. He's had the smallest and the biggest. How big was it, Danny?
22.10.
£22.10. A very, very happy man. That looks a lovely, lovely carp, and it's the biggest of the tournament. So I will fancy your chances there, mate, of getting through with that fish. Are you confident now?
Hopefully, one more fish.
One more fish, you think? Yeah. Well, what are you on now? Cumulative weight? Is it still the 2 carp you've had?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm guessing he's around the £25 mark at the moment. So, one fish would almost definitely see you through. What a lovely carp. We'll get it back, fella, and we'll see if you can bag another one.
Cheers.
Right, we're here with Jonathan Scholes, who's just caught a PB. How big is it, mate?
19.4.
£19. What a fish to get you in the running for the final. Awesome, you must be made up.
Yeah, I'm over the moon.
And have you fancied your chance over here? Has it been difficult?
Yeah, it's been very difficult, yeah.
What have you been doing? How have you caught it?
Just keep ringing the changes.
Ringing the changes?
Yeah.
What was the method then that won the day?
On the bottom with a Opti, little boilie.
Right.
Tiny boilies.
You must be a very happy man. Well, he's got every chance now. There's just over an hour left now to the final whistle, and if this fish gets him through, a PB's done it as well. So a very happy man.
Thank you.
And that PB was enough to send Jonathan Scholes through to the final. Danny Woodhouse's little and large combo of fish enough to see him through, whilst top seeds Ryan Boyder and John Earl also continued their good performances to make it into the final. Daniel Rathbone in second place. Another outside bet has to be Joe Atkinson. He fished well to clinch 4th place. The conditions were excellent today, and the fishing matched the weather. Stay tuned after the